Nothing is more shocking to the global ARMY community right now than a video recording showing Jeon Jungkook getting off a plane at Incheon Airport with a grim facial expression, dressed in all black and walking without official escort from any agency. Within hours after the video spread, speculation exploded. What exactly happened to Taehyung? And why did Jungkook, who was supposed to be in the middle of his solo project abroad, suddenly appear in Korea without any public agenda? These questions didn't come from a vacuum. They emerged alongside an overwhelming wave of fan outrage. Many pointed out that Jungkook's action was a personal protest against how Taehyung has recently been treated. A major event seems to be unfolding behind the scenes, and the public is left guessing with no clear direction. But one thing is certain. There is a wound that hasn't healed, tension that hasn't eased, and a truth that hasn't been revealed. Why did Taehyung suddenly disappear from the agency's official news? Why was he absent from recent promotional content that should have involved all BTS members? And more suspiciously, why are fans the ones who must gather their own evidence through image snippets, digital signals, and traces of social media activity? As if the truth is being hidden behind a curtain of formality and controlled narratives, what the public has found in recent days has truly sparked anger. Circulating images show Taehyung in a tired state in a small studio, not under the protection of top-tier facilities that a world-class artist like him should have. Some have called this a form of exile, a silent treatment that slowly pushes Taehyung away from the spotlight without explanation. And for many armies, this is no longer about project management or role division. This is about justice. Jungkook's reaction to this situation further fueled the tension. He didn't say a word on camera, but his body language spoke louder than 1,000 statements. His face didn't show the expression of an artist on a regular trip. His eyes reflected pressure, and his movement, usually energetic and composed, this time looked rushed and tense. Internal sources said that his visit to HYBE's headquarters was not on the schedule and seemed more like a sudden act triggered by something personal. The main question arose: did Jungkook come to demand an explanation? And if so, what kind of explanation could possibly justify the treatment Taehyung has received in recent months? Many believe their personal relationship is more than just being groupmates. The two have been known as very close friends since debut. So when one is treated unfairly, it's natural for the other to react emotionally. Meanwhile, global armies are not staying silent. Hashtags filled with protest and support for Taehyung dominate trends on various social media platforms. Fans from many countries voiced their disappointment, even anger, at the agency that they feel has ignored or even suppressed the existence of one of BTS's members systematically. And this isn't the first time such accusations have been directed at the management. But this time, the scale is much larger and the emotion much deeper. In one viral post, a fan wrote, "If you don't want Taehyung involved in your projects, at least don't ruin his dignity. Don't treat him like he doesn't exist." This sentence represents thousands, even millions of voices who feel that something is seriously wrong in how HYBE treats one of the most influential members in this group's history. More suspiciously, in several of Taehyung's recent posts on his personal social media, there seem to be hidden messages implying emotional pressure. Some fans even constructed deep analyses on his word choices and facial expressions in his short videos, concluding that there's internal pressure he can't openly share. If true, then Jungkook's flight to Korea wasn't just a sudden visit, but an act of solidarity and perhaps even a form of defense. Panic began to spread in the media as this information quickly circulated without clarification from any party. It is precisely this ambiguity that fuels the unrest. Why is no one speaking up? Why must fans draw their own conclusions? And how long will this pattern be allowed to repeat? Suspicions grew stronger when several videos that were previously publicly available suddenly disappeared without a trace. Clips showing Taehyung interacting with staff, and footage from airport cameras capturing crucial moments before Jungkook's departure, all vanished or were systematically deleted. This can no longer be called coincidence. There is an attempt to silence. Something is being controlled, so it doesn't leak. And now all eyes are on one central point: HYBE. Behind the glass walls of the high-rise building that has symbolized South Korea's entertainment power, fans demand answers. They are not asking for drama. They only want transparency. But what they receive is suspicious silence and defensive attitudes. In this silence, Jungkook's actions carry even more meaning. He becomes a symbol of courage, a symbol of resistance against a system believed to have failed in preserving the integrity of member relationships. Will his arrival bring change? Is this the beginning of open resistance to internal policies that no longer side with justice and artist dignity? Or will this only worsen the position of those who dare to speak up? No one knows for sure, but one thing is clear: Jeon Jungkook did not come empty-handed. He came carrying an unrevealed truth, and the public will not stop until they know what really happened to Kim Taehyung. If this news is true, then no event has ever shaken fans' hearts in modern BTS history more than Jungkook's emotional statement about Taehyung's safety. But behind the tears and the relieving news, a series of disturbing questions arise. Are we really witnessing a real emotional downfall of a global artist? Or is this part of a communication strategy meticulously calculated to create mass empathy? The video showing Jungkook crying did not only touch fans' hearts, but also sparked global curiosity. His emotional expression, though moving, must still be verified. There's no clear timestamp, no medical facility mentioned. Not even one mainstream media outlet confirmed that Taehyung was ever in critical condition. Hence the fundamental question: where did this information come from? Are we being fed facts or public imagination polished into a grand narrative? Platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter have played a significant role in spreading these bits of information. Video snippets, compilations of sobs, and facial analyses of Jungkook are presented in dramatic formats that trigger emotion but lack verification. Unfortunately, most people are quicker to trust touching visuals than investigate credible sources. Doesn't this indicate a real media literacy crisis in today's digital era? Have we as audiences become part of a machine of expectations hungry for drama? Has an idol's emotional suffering become a commodity to boost digital impressions? If yes, then we must question whether those tears are real cries from the heart or merely a constructed expression designed to spark viral momentum. It is crucial to ask, who benefits from this narrative? If Taehyung truly survived a life-threatening condition, of course, this is good news to be grateful for. But if the whole story came from misinformation, video manipulation, or a backstage narrative design, then we have become part of a deliberately staged emotional circus. And more than that, we've been victims of empathy exploitation. Are you sure that social media doesn't twist reality just to bait interaction? Have you truly seen medical proof stating Taehyung was in critical condition? Or are you just following a narrative built by viral content? Maybe it's time we pause and ask ourselves, what kind of information are we actually consuming? We live in an era where information spreads faster than clarification. Emotional narratives are preferred over factual reports. But in situations like this, who will take responsibility if the whole world has been manipulated into believing something that never happened? When social media becomes the main source of information, the line between fact and fiction gets increasingly blurred. Emotionally charged content often becomes the new truth, even without any supporting evidence. We can't ignore this fact. We must realize that manipulated emotions can lead to false conclusions. The biggest question now arises: was Taehyung ever really in critical condition? If yes, why hasn't there been any official statement from hospitals, management teams, or medical institutions to validate it? And if not, why did someone like Jungkook seem to express such deep sadness? Or was the video edited? Was that moment taken from a different context and then linked to an inaccurate narrative? Don't forget that the digital world has the power to manipulate emotions, shift context, and create new realities from a single 15-second clip. The public needs to ask further. Are we witnessing the true emotional reality of a friend who almost lost someone close? Or are we trapped in a narrative designed to control our attention? We accuse no one. We're not saying this is all a lie, but we urge you to think, to examine, to pause before hitting the share button. Because every act of spreading unverified information only strengthens the same cycle of misinformation we all worry about. In this atmosphere of anxiety, it's inevitable that some fans begin to question deeper motives. Is HYBE, as BTS's agency, behind this narrative? Is this their way to divert attention from internal issues? Is this a form of emotional intervention deliberately arranged? If these suspicions are true, then the public has been manipulated to feel sadness, fear, and anxiety for purposes we may never fully understand. Isn't this the highest form of betrayal against public trust? However, if the opposite is true, and all this news is real, then another question arises. Why must the public learn about it from anonymous TikTok accounts or unclear YouTube videos? Why is there no official channel acting swiftly to provide medical explanation and confirmation? This isn't just a fandom issue. This is a matter of information responsibility. When public emotions are left hanging without certainty, what arises is not just confusion, but also anger. And when the public is angry, the trust built over years can crumble in mere seconds. We are not in a position to conclude the ultimate truth of this story, but we are in a position to remind you, don't get trapped in a narrative that may not be true. Don't let emotion override logic. And never stop questioning anything you see on your phone screen. Now we ask you directly, do you truly believe that Taehyung was in critical condition? Or do you feel this was merely one dramatic episode designed to draw tears? Have you seen real proof of that suffering? Or are you just feeling the effect of a well-constructed narrative? Reflect on this. If this information turns out to be wrong, who will apologize to the millions of fans who have grieved? Who will take responsibility for the collective trauma that has been created? And if the information is true, why did the world only learn about it through emotional video clips, not through official medical statements? Please reflect. Please discuss. And most importantly, please be skeptical, because in an era where emotion is used as a control tool, our only weapon is critical thinking.